UFC 305 just took place, and I'm here to break it down, go over all the fights we try to predict here. We're going to go in backwards order, so you guys can see the good stuff right here in the beginning. We're going to talk about Adesanya versus DDP, Dricus and Du Plessis. Can we stop the Dricus Du Plessis hate? That man's legit. Anyone that says that man's not legit, he is legit. He is so legit, he's making people think that Izzy is not good whatsoever, that he's different, that he's not trying as hard. It's crazy to me. I think we predict this one 100% correct. The wrestling, we said that Dricus was a better all-around fighter in every aspect of the game. He's in the fight on every aspect of the fight. And I said the wrestling was ultimately going to be the difference in rounds 4 and round 5. That is exactly what happened. Dricus was better in the wrestling, and ultimately, after good shots, I didn't like how the commentators were commentating it. They kind of made it sound like Izzy was landing a lot, and they weren't really talking about Dricus landing a lot. Dricus was landing a lot to the body as well. They weren't talking about. I thought his headshots were more powerful, doing more damage than the commentating team let on, more damage than I think Izzy was letting on. I thought he fought brilliant. I thought both guys fought really well, okay? To start. I thought Izzy was up 2-1 going into that 4th round. The judges saw it differently, which I was a little surprised by. That round 1 was a feel-out round, in my opinion. I leaned Adesanya in that round 1. Round 2, I thought Dricus killed him. He got the takedown. He rode it out. I thought he had better power shots. He definitely won the round. That was the most certain round, in my opinion. That's why I'm okay with the judges, 2 of the 3 judges having Dricus up. Round 3 was just a very, very close round. Round 3 was the closest round. I leaned Adesanya by like the slimmest of margins, so I can understand why the judges wouldn't have had him up there. I thought Adesanya fought well. A lot of people are saying he didn't fight well. He fought bad. I thought he fought very well in a lot of moments in that fight. I think, yes, maybe he is a little more gun-shy. Yes, he is a little more scared. Getting knocked out would do that to you. I got knocked out once. I was definitely a little more scared when wrestling to not let that happen again, right? Or is that going to happen again? It does have a little bit of effect on you. And he's now 35 years old, probably starting to think about a different part of life, right? So maybe he is a little scared. I don't know. I don't know what the preparation was. I said we haven't seen Izzy in a layoff like this. That probably affected him. There's a lot that can go into it. What's next for DDP? I think Strickland. They're saying Strickland. I guess that makes sense. They hinted at Pereira. Pereira hinted at it. I don't think Adesanya wants that to happen because then it looks like Dad has to come in and save him. But that would be an interesting fight. I think Pereira would win against Dricus, sadly, unless Dricus can just wrestle him crazy. Because Blachowicz shows you could wrestle him and win. And I think if Dricus does that, he can win. I was shocked when Jan didn't even attempt to take a shot against Pereira. It took like one, got us stuffed, and one bad shot got us stuffed, and then didn't even try to do it again when that was his most likely way to victory, which was ridiculous to me. I think Dricus would take him down, and I think the wrestling could potentially be the difference, but the power of him is just different. It's just different, right? Ultimately, I think DDP is the better fighter in Adesanya versus him. I think he's a better fighter against Strickland. I think he beats Strickland again. Yeah, I think he's the guy to go through right now, and I think Pereira and him would be a really good fight, and I'm excited to see that one. Moving on to the rest of the card here, Erceg versus Kai France. We got that one wrong. I said Erceg. I was kind of confused by the line at -160. When we sat and made the video, it was -160. That line ballooned all the way to -300 on some books. I was right. The line looked mispriced to me, and obviously a lot of people that had money thought it was also the wrong number because that line ballooned. Look, sometimes people just get knocked out. It's fighting at the end of the day, right? I don't believe in my heart that I handicapped that wrong. He just ended up getting knocked out. It happens. It's fighting, right? It's a probability game to me. That's what betting is. That's what it is, right? His winning percentage was greater, in my opinion, than -160 going into that fight. I don't care what anyone says. He just ended up losing. It's fighting. Anyone can get knocked out at any moment. He lost. And Kai France is going to fight for a title. I hope the line's short or that he's favored. Because I think Pantoja beats him. Yes, I'll doubt him again. I don't care. But the way he set that up, I don't know. I wasn't like over the moon by it. I thought he hit him I thought he was gonna hit him the first 3 times he did it. I didn't know what the hell Erceg was doing. He just kind of let him come in and hit him. It was a little weird to me. I think Erceg, right before it was happening, was touching him up. I think Erceg was just about to get going. He was low-key starting to let go and swing at him pretty good. And I think if he potentially got out of that round and we went to a second round, I think Erceg could have possibly dominated in another round. We didn't even get to see him wrestle, so if they fought again tomorrow, I would still have Erceg as a favorite. Is that crazy to say? I don't know, but great win for Kai Kara-France. I think the home crowd advantage really played into it for him and Dan Hooker. So it's a good fight for Kai Kara-France. I would love to see the fight against Pantoja. I don't think Erceg is out of the woods. I think we're going to see him again very soon. I think we'll see him fight for a title at some point someday. Ultimately, it was just he got the punch that knocked him out. That's fighting in a nutshell. Fight 3, Mateusz Gamrot versus Dan Hooker. Look, I said Gamrot was going to win. I thought Gamrot did win the fight. The scorecards were all over the place, even online. People online had Gamrot winning round 1 pretty convincingly. I was not convinced. I thought that was going to be split by the judges, which it was. And then round 2, everyone online convincingly, like the tweets they show on the side, convincingly had Hooker winning, when I was more sure Gamrot won round 2 than he did round 1, and even the judges agreed because all the judges had Gamrot winning round 2, every single one. So to me, that was a little crazy on the scorecards. I thought Gamrot won round 1. He cut him open. He was beating down on him on the bottom. I thought he won the first 2 rounds. I'll give Hooker the 3rd round. I think Hooker fought beautifully in the 3rd round, and I think Hooker fought beautifully maybe the last minute in the 2nd round. Hooker won this fight because he rocked him at the end of round 1. That's the reason why he won this fight. That was enough to get the judges to write 10, for one judge to write 10 on him for round 1. Just because he rocked him. If Gamrot did not get rocked at the end of that round 1, Gamrot wins the championship. And I think the UFC wanted Gamrot to win because now, what do you do with both of them? Well, who should Hooker fight? Because he's still now so far away from a championship fight. He's got Plessis. He's got Oliveira. I think him and Oliveira would be a great fight. I think him and Max Holloway for a BMF title would be a great fight. I don't want to see Poirier again. I don't want to see Gaethje. It's a tough situation now with Hooker. And then I think it's also a tough situation with Gamrot because I think Gamrot, like he said, stylistically matches up well against Makhachev. And I think he does. I actually agree with him because if there's anyone that can out-wrestle him, I think it is him. It sucks to get a loss. That one hurt. Especially because, I knew deep down it was going to be a coin flip, judge's decision. My opinion, I thought he won the fight, but it just didn't go our way, right? And that's just fighting ultimates together. That's my fault for backing a guy. Minus 340 was obviously not the true percentage of him winning that fight, in my opinion. I thought he had a chance to finish Hooker in round 1 when he was doing the ground and pound. He ultimately did not. But Hooker, he stays tough. He stays strong. Last fight here, the Tai Tuivasa versus Shahirian Rosenstruik fight. I think we nailed this one. I said whoever fights a smarter fight is going to win, and I think Rosenstruik fought a smarter fight and ended up winning the fight. Tai Tuivasa, though, in my opinion, did fight smarter than I thought he was going to. I think he did put more time in his footwork, more time into his fundamentals, and looked better than recently, in my opinion. I think a title fight is way out of the picture for Tai Tuivasa, and I think now at this point he's just going to be low-key a gatekeeper probably for up-and-comers. He's going to be in fun fights, and it's probably going to be put in the middle card of a pay-per-view whenever he wants, just so he can get a knockout or something like that. I think people love his fights, and they want to see him fight. So, that's a good enough stick for him, and I think he's going to keep doing that. Just hopefully maybe they feed him a win next time he fights. Rosenstruik, it's a good win for him. I think he's still far away from a title. He's got a long way to go. Maybe Tai Burra, I don't know. I'm not a matchmaker, but it was a good win for him. It was a little closer than I thought it was going to be. Ultimately, he walks away with a victory. I'm going to say it's 2 for 2 in the predictions. We nailed DDP. We nailed Rosenstruik. Didn't get Erceg. Didn't get Gamrot. 2-2, I think, is not bad. Considering the one I thought we won, and the other one, he just got knocked out. This fighting, it happens. That's why you don't parlay. Like 4 or 5 like parlays, don't do it. We hit big on the PFL. If you watch my PFL video, we hit big on that. We won every fight on the PFL. It was ultimately a profitable weekend in mixed martial arts. If you like mixed martial arts, please hit the subscribe button. Much more to come. I'm Josh Wissey. If you like sports, I promise you're going to like this channel. So hit the subscribe. I'm Josh Wissey. Thank you.